Hello and welcome, David Baker. Welcome to the Wisdom for Life podcast. In this podcast, we've been focusing on your family, wisdom for your family. It's amazing how many times the family gets left off. It's amazing how many times the family is not given the priority and the time that it's needed because there's so many other life issues that are going on. And then the problem is when we actually realize the problem, it's not, quote, too late, but almost, and it seems like it. Many times we don't get them back. I'd like to ask you a simple question this time where you're listening to this, and here it is. How are the kids? Oh, no, they're good. Isn't that how we think right away? How are the kids? Oh, they're good. They're good. And when you think about how are the kids, what do we think about? Their health. Okay? Oh, they're healthy. They're good. They're not in the hospital. They didn't have a disease. They're good. But no. How are the kids? How are the kids? Do you know how to see if they're doing well? How to see if they're okay? Literally with children, so many times we wait until something is gigantic before we do anything. And when that happens, then it's too late. They're already so far down. They're already in major trouble. They already have an addiction. They've already set up that they are working with they're with the wrong crowd. How are they doing? How are they doing? Do you know what to look for? Do you know to see when there's a problem? In a vehicle, when you hear a tick tick, or you hear a noise, or you hear something that doesn't sound right, that should tell us something. We need to get this checked out, because if we do not get it checked out, then what's going to happen? Then, it's too late to fix it. Now we have to replace it. I'm sorry, you can't do that with your kids. You can't just replace your kids. They're your kids. They're your kids for life. So what are the things to look for to know how they're doing? Hey, if you ask your child to do something, did they do it the first time when they're told and with a good attitude? If they don't, you have to realize, hey, we have a problem. There's something we need to do and work on. Does your child naturally keep his room clean and his bed made without being told to do it? No, impossible. Then we have a problem that needs to be fixed. That's something a child can be trained to do and naturally to do. Remember, the whole part of this is we're not rearing children, we're rearing adults. They already are children. We're preparing them to be adults. And so, is it natural to expect our children to clean their room without being told to do it? Absolutely it is. Absolutely. Oh, they're only kids. Yeah. And now they're 30-year-old only kids. And he can't clean up and pick up after himself. And his wife is so frustrated, she's walking out on him. Hello. Those problems grow up and they get big. Do you know what to look for? Hey, how are the kids? How are the kids? Does your child look for what needs to be done around the house and do it without being told? Oh, they would never do that. Okay. Is that something you can expect them to do? Yes. They can be taught and trained to do that. By the way, you want to know if that's a big deal? If you teach him and train him to look for what needs to be done and to fix them and take care of them before being told, do you understand what you're creating? You're creating an owner. You're creating a boss. You're creating the supervisor. You're creating the guy that's going to be in charge because nobody has to tell him what to do. He looks for what needs to be done. We call it a number one worker. Number 4 worker, they don't do what they're told. Number 3 worker, they do what they're told, but then you have to go find them. Where did they go now? They're on their phone. They're in the bathroom. Number 2 worker, they do what they're told. They come back, say, all right, what's next? That's a good worker. He'll always have a job. A number 1 worker doesn't have to be told what to do. They look for what needs to be done, and they do it. Powerful. Is that possible? Can you have children to do that? Absolutely. And there's some fun things you can do to teach them and train them to that. Let me ask you this. Does your child speak to his parents and siblings with love and kindness or with a strong and harsh tone? Oh, well, they're just kids. That's just their brother and sister. No. You're creating domestic abuse and your kids will be in jail one day. What? Yeah, you let the brother and sister fight? What's that going to turn into? He never learned how to control his emotions, his anger. She never learned how to work with a boy, her brother, to be able to have things turn out well and right. And guess what that turns into? A horrible marriage. Literally, most divorces can be traced back to brothers and sisters not handling situations right. And parents, guess what? Don't have a clue. They don't think through that. They just think, well, I used to fight with my brother, and that's just part of it. No, we don't allow that. That's not allowed. You can't do that. How is that? Hey, when you do have to correct and discipline your child, does he accept it and take it well, or does he not? Does he get upset and mad? How does he take the correction? Oh, well, nobody takes it well. Really? The Bible said the wise man loves when someone corrects him. They love it. They understand. You're right. Thank you. I need that. Do they accept it well? Do they handle it okay, or do they not? That's gigantic. Listen, through all of life, we are going to be corrected. So now your child doesn't handle it right. Now he's adult. Now he's driving. He gets pulled over, and guess what? He goes off on the cop. Oh, congratulations. A speeding ticket turned into resisting arrest. Incredible. Do you understand that? Do your children have influences on them that are a bad influence? Are they inviting them to do wrong? Can you see a change in your child's attitude and realize he's becoming like his friends, and his friends aren't good? His friends aren't good. Do you know if your child smokes or has tried it, or drinks and has tried it, or uses drugs or has tried it? Do you know that? I don't think they have. Do you know that? That's something you want to know. That person, by the way, do any of their friends drink or use drugs or smoke? Because if their friends do, they will. If their friends do, they will. Am I supposed to know that kind of stuff? Absolutely. Hey, how are the kids? Hey, how are the kids? Really is a big deal. Is your child appreciative of the sacrifice and all the serving that the parents do? Can it be that way? Yeah. Yes. I've seen many children appreciative of what their parents do. If you're not, there's a reason why. There's a not. Yes, they can be. Hey, how are the kids? How are the kids? You need to be able to know and see that, to see what they're like, what they're around. What kind of good influences do your children have? Do they have a good coach, a good teacher? Do they have good influences at church to help them? Our children are going to be like the people they hang around. They're going to be. Do they have good influences to help them? Do they have a youth pastor, a Sunday school teacher? Do they have somebody that's investing in them? How many good influences do they have in their life versus how many bad ones? Hey, what trajectory are your children on? Be honest. Don't look at them through the rose-colored glasses. Oh, they're little angels. Be honest. Can you see the flaws? Can you see the chinks in their armor? Can you see what direction they're going? If your child stays on the direction they're going, they're going to end up where? Okay? They're going to end up where? You need to see that. You need to know that. You need to take care of that. It really, really, really is going to be a big deal to see. Hey, let me ask you, how are the kids? How are the kids? No, they're good. Honestly, how are the kids? Okay, you want to know how they're doing and check on those. Hey, if you want to, go to thegoodkidquiz.com and take that quiz. Check on them. See how they're doing. Okay, see how the kids are doing and get some help before it's permanent. Listen, now they have a kid. It's permanent. Are they messing around that way? I don't think so. Oh, no, my child would never. Really? Really? Can you think back to you or people you know? Do you know that? You need to know. You need to know. If you sense, okay, I may not know what's wrong, but I know something's wrong, and I got to find out what's wrong, or I could lose my kids. That's the way you need to think about it. It really is that big a deal. Hey, how are the kids? How are the kids? Let's make sure they're good, or we're going to look back for the rest of our life and go, boy, I made a mistake. Boy, I made a mess. Boy, I've got a mess. Boy, I don't know what to do. Really is a big deal. All right. Hey, God bless you. If I can help you, let me know. Go to thegoodkidquiz.com. Take that quiz. See how those kids are doing. And